We are back, baby! The Diamondbacks win in LA. They beat the Dodgers by a score of 2-1. Let's go! Let's go!
161 and 1 still alive,
That's
baby.
right. That's
Let's
right.
go.
We're
D-backs World Series
bound.
champions.
Let's go.
Crown is now.
Yeah. We're not overreacting. We weren't overreacting last night, and we're not overreacting now. Don't tell us that we are. Welcome into the PHNX D-backs podcast. My name is Derek Montilla, occasionally known as a Savannah Banana, which we will get to later. This wonderful lady next to me is the one and only Danielle, taking over for Jesse, while Jesse will be coming to us live from Dodger Stadium, where I'm hoping that he's rubbing it in other people's faces, but I'm sure he's not. He's such a good boy like that. But we are excited. What an exciting game that we saw today from the Arizona Diamondbacks against the Dodgers. We said yesterday that they looked outmatched against this team. They did not look outmatched today.
Not at all. Oh man, what a game. Just what a freaking game. You get absolutely dominated by Trevor May. At one point, from the 4th to the 7th inning, he sent down 10 guys in a row. 10 guys in a row, and just looked completely outmatched like they did yesterday. We were talking about, heading into that 8th inning, it's like, oh boy, like one run seems a little insurmountable, right?
It was the most bleak 0-0 game I've ever experienced in my life. Merrill Kelly had a 28 pitch first inning.
Yeah, 28
and we knew that he was already going to be on a shorter pitch count. Torey Lovullo had said that before the game. He said that prior to Merrill Kelly making his first start because of the WBC and just how short his spring training was. But a 28 pitch first inning isn't great ever, let alone when you know the guy's already on a short leash, right? But it put him behind early. Meanwhile, like you said, Dustin May was just incredible. Was going out there.
He had his stuff going. But the D-backs didn't break.
No.
They bent, but they did not break.
They bent, but they did not break.
And so many years pass. If, late in the game, Mookie Betts home run, hang your head, all right, go get him tomorrow, right? Yeah. But not this team. This team fights. You see that? We saw that in freaking spring training, and now we're seeing it come to fruition. Oh man, I love this. I love the comment Jesse would be murdered by Dodgers fans. Thank goodness y'all sent him and not one of us.
Yeah,
here, right?
No, I was not the right
out.
choice.
Yeah,
I was not the right choice.
They
knew that WrestleMania was happening in that city, so they knew better than to send me. But we're very excited to have you guys here. Your comments are cracking me up. We are praying for Jesse's safety. Ryan said yesterday, call the ambulance today, but not for us. Let's go. Oh man, I'm fired up. But it was an exciting game. I mean, honestly, it sounds like hyperbole to say it, but it did seem kind of a lost cause, even though it was 0-0. Merrill Kelly leaves the game after 3 2/3 innings, giving up 3 hits, no runs, 4 walks, 4 strikeouts. Right, but we have an appearance that just at that point put fire in all of our blood, and it put fire in Drey Jameson's blood, who came out there and actually had an incredible outing in relief. That is the exact reason why they left him here and didn't send him down to Reno.
That's why he got the call-up despite his bad numbers in Reno last year, right? You saw the stuff. 97. We were talking about what a luxury it is to have a guy to come out of the bullpen when your starter doesn't go as far as you want him to go. Yeah. He comes out, he's throwing 60-plus pitches. We mentioned it.
Long,
his 60th pitch was 97 miles an hour, dropping in that 83 mile an hour filthy slider that he was feeling today. Yeah. What a luxury does it have that guy on.
You were taking notes about that. He hung 4, and there was just the one that he really got.
I counted 4 hanging sliders, but his pitch selection, you're geared up for that fastball. On the scouting report, he throws hard. He likes his fastball, and then all of a sudden he's out there busting out changeup. That they just swung through, and the home run that he gave up was not a bad pitch. Yeah, he buried it. The only problem is, we talked about it a little bit during the game. If you throw a slider on the inside of half the plate to a right-hander, it breaks right into their barrel. So that's just kind of what happened. But you know what? You know who also did that? Alex Vesia, baby.
Let's go,
freaking Kyle
Lewis. Let's go, Kyle Lewis. Again, you thought you were calling the ambulance for Kyle Lewis yesterday? No, it wasn't for Kyle Lewis. It's for you, because Kyle Lewis comes through. And honestly, Jesse pointed this out. But Jesse definitely had a good point. We were text messaging. Torey Lovullo made some good managerial decisions, which we will talk about. But obviously, a big part of that was the minute that Dustin May left the game and Alex Vesia came into the game, Torey Lovullo did not hesitate to jump on that and send out some of those right-handed batters that they have, which included Torey Lovullo sending out Evan Longoria and Kyle Lewis. Longoria doubled, Kyle Lewis homered them both in to give the Diamondbacks 2-1 lead. Nick Schultz says, I never doubted. We never doubted either for a second. I might have doubted a little bit yesterday. I might have tweeted out today that baseball makes me sad before today's game. But yeah, I mean, it was just an incredible, incredible game. And, it's funny how fast baseball can change. Yeah, right.
And
it's funny how
fast. That's the beauty of it, right? If the Suns have a bad game, you're gonna have to stew on it for a couple days, right? When the Cardinals have a bad game, I should say,
you gotta
stew on it for a week, sometimes too, if it's on a bye, right? Baseball, you get right back at it tomorrow.
Right.
It's the beauty of this game. I love it so much. No matter what's going on, tomorrow is a new day. And look at this, how the sky was falling in D-backs world yesterday. Now all of a sudden we're feeling great.
I don't know what's going on in the peanut gallery over there, but
so Shane made a chat GPT of Jesse getting assaulted by Dodgers fans.
it's a breaking news article, but he's okay.
Okay. Can I get some details from it?
Yeah. Here,
Please, let's get Shane in here. Shane and I had some fun today out at the Savannah Bananas, by the way.
PHNX sports writer Jesse Friedman assaulted by Dodgers fans but escapes with minor injuries. Writer Jesse was the victim of a violent assault by several Dodgers fans outside of Dodger stadiums last night. According to witnesses, the altercation broke out after Friedman was verbally harassed by the fans for wearing a Diamondbacks jersey. I didn't even say anything about the Diamondbacks.
It knows. Oh my God! Hey, show of hands. Who has that actually happened to?
Oh no!
Yeah,
oh man!
Yeah, I will not go to Dodger Stadium ever again as long as I live. Yeah. Oh man!
But that's hilarious, and I hope Jesse's okay because now I'm worried about him. It's like when you know your kid's okay, but then you see a thing on TV and you're like, no, I'm worried about them. Like that's how I feel, right? But the other thing here is Torey Lovullo had some challenges that he made that were successful and were very, very clutch in this game. You had the challenge. He was right both times. Challenge to save a run in the second inning when Gabriel Moreno caught David Peralta stealing second. Cattell did a great job keeping the tag on Peralta, which gave him the out. And then he also challenged the D-backs leadoff base runner and Corbin Carroll in the eighth, where he beat out the first base.
A ground ball to first base.
Ground ball to first base.
He beat out a ground ball to first base.
What human being does that when it's like a routine ground ball and he can just outrun the pitcher getting over there? I don't know what happened there, but I love Corbin Carroll. Corbin Carroll, again, had himself another good game.
Yep. That's what he does, man. He makes things happen. The D-backs just have a bunch of guys who make things happen, and that's the beauty of this team, right? They're just so much fun to watch.
Yeah.
And you brought up the challenge. I mean, up until Kyle Lewis's home run, that was the biggest play of the game because the very next pitch, Miguel Rojas hit a double. That's a run, right? And how often do you see that happen? A guy caught stealing a hit that would have driven him in the very next pitch. So biggest play of the game to me.
It was huge. It was huge. But and it was, again, like you said, it was a challenge, right? It was at least the biggest play of the game until that home run by Kyle Lewis, which lit PHNX HQ here up. We were very excited about that, watching the game here. Meanwhile, we're sitting next to the Suns crew. They win all the time, and they're like up by 6, and they're just, dramatically over the top about potentially losing. All right, look, I get it's a bad Nuggets team, but we over here will take any win, no matter how big or small. One run wins are still wins, and
especially when it's against the Dodgers.
Especially when it's against the Dodgers.
Enjoy that traffic out of Dodger Stadium.
Yeah, right. I mean, we talked about it yesterday, and one of the things that Jesse had said was that even winning one game out of this series is a good look.
Yeah.
Do you agree with that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Do we have the one win now?
The Dodgers have owned the D-backs at Dodger Stadium.
It's very true.
It's a different, it's a little different story at home, but at Dodger Stadium in LA, you're lucky if you can get one game, honestly, with the history that they have. It felt like, a couple years ago where the D-backs had lost, 15 in a row in in like freaking New York or whatever, something like that. It felt like that. It wasn't quite that bad, but it felt like that. So just honestly, any win on a primetime game like this Friday night at Dodger Stadium, get that win for a young team. Let's go.
Yeah, let's go. I agree with that. And I think hopefully the pressure is off, right? Like that's one thing that this team has been doing too much at times is pressing. Yeah. You can tell because they all kind of clamp up at the same time. But now it feels like some of the newer pieces actually help to kind of break through that offensive slump. Obviously, Kyle Lewis being the biggest piece of that, but Evan Longoria was also another vital piece of that. He was, he doubled right before Lewis's home run.
At-bat.
He had a great at bat. Yeah, he really did. But I want to give credit where credit's due to the pitching staff here a little bit, because even though Merrill Kelly didn't go very long, he still, once again, his line, 3 2/3, 3 hits, no runs, 4 walks, 4 strikeouts. Then you have Drey Jameson coming in relief, going 4 innings, 2 hits, 1 earned run, 3 walks, 5 strikeouts. The two of them combined was an outstanding start from any pitcher,
absolutely.
Right? And of course, even though Kelly couldn't last very long, we see the benefit to Drey Jameson being here, being a part of this bullpen, and it instantly pays off for Torey Lovullo, who once again turned out to have some very good managerial decisions. He leaves Drey Jameson in for a good while to 4 innings pitched, and that allows him to save his bullpen for the rest of the series, because with Merrill Kelly going just 3 2/3, it looked like it was going to be disastrous for this team this early on to have your bullpen this spent going through a 4-game series.
Here we go again, 2021, 2022 all over again, right?
Right. But then, again, he pinch hit for Thomas, Perdomo, and Rojas in the 8th when the Dodgers bring in lefty Alec Vesia. He had the 2 challenges, and he did a great job tonight. Like Torey was on his stuff, and it made the difference. It really did make the difference in this game.
Yeah. It's crazy what having actual legitimate major league options can do, right?
Yeah.
Like, so a lot of the fans question Torey's decision for decisions over the last couple of years, but like, what choices did he have? Right? Your choices are between some guy who got called up from Double-A because your other guys are hurt, and then just a bunch of scraps, other team scraps.
Yeah.
Now you have an actual major league lineup. You can make these changes, right? You can make wholesale changes when they bring in a lefty versus a righty, right? Like, this is what we're seeing.
Yeah. Well, the rest of the bullpen was good, just not great. Scott McGuff, only a third of an inning pitched, walked 2, and that was not great. And then you also have Andrew Chafin, who came in to get the save. So you have Drey Jameson with the win, Chafin with the save. Chafin looked very angry at himself at times. We were just discussing whether he was mad at, like, there was no way you could be mad at the umpire because his
he's
pitches
missing
were
by a mile,
way outside the strike zone. But I was glad he got mad at himself, because after that he really buckled down.
Yeah, he walked in and
it was great to see, man. And I mean, I don't know. Again, Torey Lovullo has said he's going to closer by committee. And I could see it being that way, the way that he went to Chafin tonight. Too often, you have to go to the same guy way too much. And I think just not like clearing your head of the concept of a closer and just going with a reliever in the same way you would if it was the 7th or the 8th inning seems like a smarter route to go, to be honest, in modern baseball.
Yeah, exactly. When with such an emphasis on pitch count and innings and whatever, when you don't have that specific role, then everybody's geared up to be the closer, right?
Yeah.
Is it going to be my night? Is it going to be there? Like, who knows?
Yeah.
Competition is great in the situation.
Ryan says Torey just needs to get Carroll to lead off. He will, as soon as I think they go up against the lefty. The buck stop is here with the super chat for $2. Let's go. Says going 4-6, 5-5 in the first 10 days is a massive win. You are absolutely right. Absolutely right.
You have your first 10 games against the Dodgers, the Padres, and then the Dodgers again.
Which I hate. Can I complain about that really fast? Let me get on my soapbox really fast. But I want to complain about the fact that why the fuck do we have to have the Dodgers twice on opening day? I'm okay with playing the Dodgers a lot this early and getting it out of the way and then not seeing them again in August. That part of the schedule I love. But do the Diamondbacks really have to spend 2 opening days? Couldn't you just lob us a softball? I mean, like, just a Milwaukee Brewers team, maybe a Pittsburgh Pirates. I'm not attacking these organizations. I'm just saying it would be nice to see someone else besides them. I don't want to play the Rockies with the way that they're playing right now against the Padres. So I don't know, but
there are 200 wins between the two teams we're opening with.
No.
The Dodgers and the Padres combined for 200 wins last season. Are you kidding me? And we get 10 games. So, when we're talking about big wins in a season, it's a little ridiculous to say in game 2 of 162, right? It's a little gigantic, but this is huge. If they were, if you start pressing in those 10 games, then you're playing 200 wins, right?
Yeah.
There's a chance if you're pressing, you start the season 0-10 and you're not getting out of that, right? So any win at this point is huge for a young team. Yeah. This is a young team.
It just builds confidence. It's encouraging, all that kind of stuff.
If they can beat Dustin May on a day that he pitched the way he did.
Yeah, because Dustin May was incredible. And I think, and that's the other thing too, right? Like, how does this like mentally show them that, look at what happened that day? Yeah. Look at how we were, you were down, there was a good starting pitcher in there, but if we can just get to that bullpen, if you can have some better at bats, that's one of our complaints was, like, again, a second night where the Diamondbacks let the starting pitcher go deep in the game because they weren't making him work, to be honest, right? Like, he was at 70 pitches after 6 innings, and that's kind of absurd, right? And Diamondbacks can't let a starting pitcher who's having a night like that do that. Sometimes you just got to, even if it's not going to result in a hit or a runner on base, you got to make them work. You just got to try. And I know that's easier said sitting here in this beautiful office in this matching Big League Chew outfit that done on the field, but I'm going to say it anyway. We have a brand new segment that we're happy to introduce for our post game and our post series, and that is our King Snake. And, of course, our King Snake for this game is the one and only Kyle Lewis. Let's go, baby. 1 for 1 with a home run and 2 RBI in this game. Vital go-ahead home run that gives the Arizona Diamondbacks the victory. But, again, we got to give credit to the bullpen, even though it didn't go perfect. It didn't build a lot of confidence, but once Kyle Lewis put him ahead, the bullpen was able to eventually shut the door on the Los Angeles Dodgers and retain a 1-run victory, which is very important because they were very bad at that last season. Yes. Very bad at that last season.
Yeah, I mean, you cut the 1-run victories in like a quarter last season, they make the playoffs, right? The biggest thing is, if you look at the stat sheet, you see Merrill Kelly goes 3 2/3. Yeah. Last season, what does that mean? Like last 2 seasons, we're losing by 10. Yeah. We're having Carson Kelly on the mound. Yeah. Right now,
she's not wrong. That's such a great point.
You get the luxury of having a Drey Jameson coming out of the bullpen in his freaking Scooby-Doo cleats. He's coming out of the bullpen
with throwing fire in his blood, just absolute fire in his blood,
absolute gas. Yeah, and then dropping that absolutely nasty slider on him. Yeah. You stay in the game for Kyle Lewis to come in and hit an absolute bomb. Yeah, in the 8th inning at Dodger Stadium, it doesn't get bigger than that. Let's go, man.
It doesn't.
Man.
I'm fired up. And honestly, again, we just want to address it before we move on. It is amazing how the perspective can change from one game to another in a 162 game season when we're just 2 games in. But get excited. Get excited. If you're not excited, get excited. Check your pulse because you might be dead. We thank so many of you for being here right now on the PHNX Sports YouTube channel. If you haven't done so already, make sure to subscribe to the PHNX Sports YouTube channel. Sign up for notifications. That way you don't miss when any of our wonderful shows go live. Right now we're going head-to-head with the Suns crew, which I know is somewhat of a losing battle for us, but we love you guys for being here. And I know so many of you are excited about baseball and getting some wins here. So also right now, if you leave us a thumbs up, we will just love you for that as well. It always makes us feel good to have that instant gratification. If you're listening on your favorite audio podcasting app, please subscribe if you haven't done so already. Leave us a review. We always love the feedback. And also grab yourself a Die Hard membership. That way you don't miss any of the wonderful content that we have from around here. Jesse Friedman's newsletter, Full Count, as well as the other newsletters from all of our writers. You also get a free piece of merch from the phnxlocker.com, as well as 20% off all future purchases. You also get members-only discounts with our partners, members-only invites to events, members-only merchandise, which you can only get, once again, if you're a member. And you get access to our members-only Discord, which is the best place to be an Arizona sports fan. So sign up, join us, become part of the family today. And if you already are, thank you for doing so. A big thank you to Daniel, by the way. I don't know if he's here tonight, but he sent us some Bosa donuts. And of course, the way to my heart is through powdery, sugary goodness like that. So thank you for sending us those. Also, grab yourself the BetMGM app. We are extremely excited to be partnering with our friends at BetMGM. We have so much coming up, including the Defen lock. That is an inevitable thing that we need to have in the BetMGM lock, MGM app. We are going to have PHNX curated in-app bets. We're going to have all sorts of events upcoming. There's going to be monthly cornhole leagues at the BetMGM Sportsbook at State Farm Stadium. Also, we will be out there on Saturday. But if you haven't signed up for the BetMGM app yet, use bonus code PHNX and you will get up to $1,000 first bet offer on your first wager with BetMGM. Here's how it works. Just download the BetMGM app and sign up using bonus code PHNX. Deposit at least $10 and place your first wager on any game. You will receive up to $1,000 in bonus bets if your bet loses. Just make sure you use bonus code PHNX when you sign up. And to kick off this partnership, once again, we're doing a massive watch party this Saturday at the BetMGM Sportsbook at 2 p.m. at State Farm Stadium. Come watch the latest stages of college basketball play out, as they will have food and beverage specials, giveaways, massive TVs to watch the game on, and so much more. Plus, if you register and place your first bet with promo code PHNX when you sign up, you will receive a PHNX shirt. That is right. Now, listen to our man Shane talk about the disclaimer.
Disclaimer, 21 plus to wager. Visit BetMGM.com for terms and conditions. U.S. promotional offers not available in Washington, D.C., Mississippi, Nevada, New York, and Ontario. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Colorado, D.C., Illinois, Indiana, Louisiana, Maryland, Mississippi, New Jersey, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Tennessee, Virginia, West Virginia, Wyoming. Call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369, New York. Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP, Arizona. 1-800-522-4700, Kansas, Nevada. 1-800-327-5050, Massachusetts. 1-800-BETS-OFF, Iowa. 1-800-270-7117 for confidential help, Michigan.
All right, ChatGPT is going to ruin the world. I'm just saying that. I'm terrified. Between that and the holes in the sun, I'm not going to have an easy time sleeping tonight. But I will have a good time sleeping tonight, thanks to the Arizona Diamondbacks. Get me this win. That always helps me sleep at night. We have some probables for the rest of this series. Again, very thankful that Drey Jameson was able to come in and save this bullpen from having quite a meltdown, because there's still a lot of games to go in a row, including beyond this series with the San Diego Padres. But we have Madison Bumgarner on the bump going up against old friend Clayton Kershaw. And then in the finale, Noah Syndergaard versus Zach Davies. So I'm going to have to say advantage Dodgers in both of these two games.
A little bit.
Is it too early for that?
I mean, Zach Davies has good numbers against the Dodgers, but wasn't particularly impressive last year, was he?
No, I mean, Zach Davies is exactly what his ERA gives you, right? He's going to give up 4 runs, and that's what it's going to be. And if you can outscore 4 runs, then you might be able to.
You got a combined age of like 97 tomorrow.
Yeah, I don't know though. This doesn't instill much confidence in me, and that's the reason why I'm very thankful that at least they got the win today. It seems like loser talk to say winning 1 out of 3 somehow feels like a win, but it definitely doesn't feel like as big of a loss as it could have been.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Especially when you got a young team like this, man. Just get 1 under your belt.
Yeah, for sure. I think Jesse's going to be coming to us at some point soon. But until then, we have some more discussion about what the hell is happening in San Diego. The Padres lose again to the Colorado Rockies. And if it was to anybody else, I think I would feel great about this. But I also don't like the fact that it's the Rockies beating them. Right? Like that, now that's just shifted my fear to another team I feel like we have to worry about matching up with. No,
we're fine. No. Listen, I covered so many Rockies games this spring training. Literally nothing to worry about. They're good offensively, right? They're gonna run into some baseballs. They just can't pitch.
Yeah, that's
so
very true.
You know what? I'm not worried at all. If I was a Padres fan, might be a little bit.
Yeah,
but not too much. It's a 162 game season. They'll be fine.
No panic. We'll see here. I can only imagine, because the expectations are set so high for a team like that at this point, that how can you not be concerned, especially losing,
right? If
especially scoring 1 run in 2 games against
the Colorado Rockies, right? It's fine. They'll like the Padres. The thing about the Padres is, you look at their lineup, how many of them were out because of the World Baseball Classic? Almost every single one of them. They didn't get a spring training, right?
Yeah, no, that's a good point.
They'll be fine. Padres will be fine.
I don't want them to be fine, though. Can they not be fine?
I'll take them over the Dodgers being fine.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's fine, too. But Motion says the Rockies trying to be the 2021 Giants. Yeah, I don't like that. Michael McDermott says don't overreact to much happening this weekend, but I want to. I want to so much. But he did say, although finding a way to win a close game in LA is still important in the grand scheme of things. That is very, very true. Clutch Canuck says the fact that the Padres are at home losing to the Rockies. Exactly. At home losing to the Rockies. So normally, Surf USA says normally listen on your podcast. Is this the normal broadcasting time? Well, that's a great question. We are doing things a little bit differently this year. So just for this first week, with Jesse being in LA and San Diego, we're going to give you guys as many post-game shows as we absolutely can. And then starting the following week, we're going to kind of get back to our normal schedule where we will be going live post-series. So we should be going live mostly like Sundays and Wednesdays. And then we're also going to do a post-game for whatever the game of the week is that we decide. So we'll be bringing you 3 post-game / post-series shows per week, as well as 2 at our regular time, which right now will be 1 p.m. in the afternoon. So hope you're able to make it for that, because I know sometimes we're all over the place with the times. We are always available on YouTube, so make sure to always check us out there, as well as hopefully keep downloading us and subscribe wherever you get your podcast at. But for now, we have a little bit of excitement there because the Diamondbacks are not in last place in the NL West. That would belong.
Feels so good,
that would belong
baby.
to the San Diego Padres.
I don't care if we're 2 games in. I hate seeing that fifth on there.
Yeah, no kidding. I'm with you on that. But there's a lot of wacky things that happened around baseball today. Cleveland beat Seattle, which those 2 teams are kind of evenly matched. The Marlins take their second game against the Mets 2-1. So a lot of weird things going on in baseball right now.
That's why it's the greatest game in the world, baby.
It's so much fun.
You never know what's going to happen.
But again, like Michael said, you can't overreact to anything happening opening weekend, and that's the reason why.
This is just baseball, right? Crazy things happen every single day. Every single day from freaking end of March all the way until the end of October. It's the greatest game in the world.
It's the reason why I don't understand when there really is a lack of confidence or at least curiosity around a team like this, right? Yeah. Because they're unproven. They are exciting. They're very highly ranked when it comes to the prospects and where people think the Diamondbacks farm system was at, and their farm system is now becoming their major league roster.
Yeah, they
actually have gotten to a point, especially with the trade for Gabi Moreno. Gabi was another guy tonight that was vastly underrated for what he was able to do out there. Like he was fighting for his life for that pitch zone. He really was trying to get every pitch in the zone. He was trying to get every call he could. But man, he made some had a strong arm, made some incredible plays.
His pop time is ridiculous. Like unmatched pop time. The David Peralta caught stealing was, when that happened, I looked over at you and was like, yeah, did you see how fast that ball got out of his glove?
Yeah.
Peralta got a good jump. It was a bad pitch to throw down to, and he still got him. A lot of the hype, coming out of the Arizona Fall League last year when he broke out and really became like the prospect that he is today, was that he's an offensive player, right? He's going to get on base. He's not going to hit he's not going to hit for a whole lot of power. He's just going to get on base. But now seeing him up close, he has the potential, you see it, to be one of the better defensive catchers in baseball. He was really impressive from what we've seen so far in this game in particular, yesterday as well, and then also all throughout spring training. He was really impressive.
He was working it. He really was. And I mean, I thought that, I mean, maybe this is projecting on him a bit too much, but he really showed like some leadership of what he was trying to do out there. You know what I mean? Like even at the dish, but behind the plate, it really felt like he was trying to command this game. And honestly, the Diamondbacks need him to kind of step up and want that role and want to be their full-time catcher.
Yeah.
If he continues to play like we've seen in this series, I'm all for it. I think he's going to it's the Dodgers. They're a very good team. The Diamondbacks at this point have had an opportunity to kind of get blown out by them, even though things kind of look like they were going to be a bit more competitive yesterday. And now they've had a chance to hang with them and see that they could actually take one from them. So it's been a lot of fun. It's been an absolute blast. And again, the world the sky is not falling any longer. And the Diamondbacks are back. We back.
We back, baby.
We back. You back. We back. We all back the D-backs. Jesse might have really gotten beat up by Dodgers fans. I don't know.
I'm starting to get really worried.
I am too. Now, I told he sent a video.
Jesse's alive.
Torey on Kyle Lewis. All right. He's alive. He made it out. Because here's the thing. I was telling Danielle, and I think I might have told you guys, I worry about Jesse. I do. I know I shouldn't. He's a grown adult that knows how to travel. He travels probably more than I do. He's very capable of taking care of himself. But still, is he taking care of himself? Is he getting enough sleep? Is he drinking enough water? These are the things that go through my mind all day long when I'm not with Jesse. I'm just worried about him all the time. Is he wearing his seatbelt, in his sick RAV4? I need to know. But Jesse did send some information from Kyle Lewis or from Torey Lovullo on Kyle Lewis, which we'll have here for you guys in a minute. And I'm sure Torey Lovullo has lots of nice things to say about Kyle Lewis right about now.
I would imagine so.
I mean, yesterday it was funny though, right? Because again, of all the guys, if you want to talk about the most unlikely hero after yesterday's game, it would be Kyle Lewis.
It's Kyle Lewis, right?
Because the guy that almost got the golden sombrero for the team.
Yeah, I had so many people text me and it was like, "What's with Kyle Lewis? Like this trade? Like what's going on?" Baseball is a long season.
Yeah,
offers happen.
Yeah.
That's just kind of how the game works. And I'm gonna I get so worked up about how much I love baseball. This is the thing. You could go over. You could look terrible.
Yeah.
One day. Next day, you're the absolute hero. Yeah. You're looking like you did in spring training. Yeah. This is why baseball is the best game in the world.
The biggest thing is that the Diamondbacks didn't really have a right-handed bat that they could bring in this situation, let alone two like they did. And again,
3 because Nick Ahmed.
Yeah, Nick Ahmed, right? But I'm just saying that, right. They swapped Nick Ahmed in, right, for Perdomo. So you gotta give Torey some credit. I'm sure Torey is going to give Kyle Lewis all the credit here, but Torey deserves some credit for the fact that he was able to pivot. And honestly, the organization deserves a little bit of credit for the fact that Torey had the firepower for him to bring in someone that was capable of doing this. It was such a big thing that was missing from this team last year. It was almost absurd when you looked at the lineup and saw how many left-handed bats they had versus anybody that they could bring in for this exact scenario. So I don't know, but I'm very excited for this win. And again, it makes me feel like the Arizona Diamondbacks depth played a big role in it, which the depth is something that they have not had over the last 3 seasons.
Yeah, I mean, for all the flack that Torey got last couple of years, all the flack that Mike Hazen got, they deserve their flowers, right? This is a deep team.
I mean, this is a total overreaction on our part, but still, they deserve their flowers.
This is a deep team, and you're seeing why they stuck with it. They said they had a plan, they stuck with it, and here we're seeing it.
It worked out at least in one game,
2 games, right? But this is baseball is such a microcosm of life and the world itself, and this is going to carry over. This is just how baseball works.
Well, it definitely can carry over for the confidence of several members of this team. Corbin Carroll, who we didn't talk about really, besides him, of course, being able to beat out a standard ground out that everybody else would have been out at, was 2 for 4. He contributed as well.
One of the weirdest doubles we've ever seen.
Yeah, but still, Corbin Carroll he thought it was foul. He stood there for a while, still was able to get it a double. He doesn't single, the man doubles. And when he does single, it's still like you think he's out, but he's safe. But here was what Torey Lovullo had to say on Kyle Lewis and that dinger that put them ahead.
Yeah, I'm sure it felt very good for him. It felt very good for this team. And, I know yesterday he didn't have a very good day at the plate, and he just picked himself up today and obviously the big 2-run home run that won the game. But he's just a good player. He's just a good hitter. He barreled up a quality pitch at the right time in the right situation.
Beating this team.
Shane is in here, and Shane is a self-professed Mariners fan, and he just said that Kyle Lewis is going to get healthy, and he's going to get good, he's going to rake, and it's going to make him and other Mariners fans very sad, and we really hope that's the case. I don't like to prey on other people's misery, but
It'll also make me happy.
Yeah, exactly. Well, because again, Kyle Lewis has had such an up and down career, right? Obviously, the knee injuries were drastic and they were really career threatening injuries. And this is a guy that 3 seasons ago was the 2020 AL, 2 seasons ago. Two now? Two? Yeah. It was the 2020 AL Rookie of the Year. So we are talking about a player that has a lot to offer, and hopefully now he can offer that to the Arizona Diamondbacks organization.
Yeah, absolutely. He to me just screams one of those change of scenery guys, right?
Yeah,
he was stuck. You got Julio Rodriguez like coming up. You know you're probably going to be out of a job, right? And so you start pushing. This is the thing we talk. Baseball is just such a mental game. Once you get in your head, you get an injury, you start pushing. Change of scenery is going to do everything for you. And right now, you know, we saw it in spring training. Spring training numbers don't mean a single thing.
However,
now,
his spring training numbers were incredible.
About as impressive as you could possibly get. And then
he literally won the job from Pavin Smith because of his offense. It was
and then today, you know, you see that. You're seeing the barrels that he was hitting in spring training. It felt like everything he hit, even on the outs, he was barreling up. He was hitting hard.
Well, even that roster decision now seems so much more savvy now than it did yesterday when you're like, but honestly, I will still say, going back to the opening day lineup, I still think that people are right to question Torey for having Kyle Lewis as the leadoff hitter. I didn't think that was a great option, and my main reason for that is speed. Right, it's not Kyle Lewis's offense or his ability to get on base as much as it was speed. Right.
Yeah, and baseball's a different game now, right? When you're looking in the '90s and before, you wanted your fastest player, no matter what. You wanted your fastest player on base. And Torey mentioned this yesterday. He was talking about how you want somebody now to get on base.
Yeah, just somebody the best option to get on base.
Yeah, and we talked about this before the game. I really like Josh Rojas in the leadoff role because he's going to do whatever it takes to get on base. Yeah. You know, even last year,
he'll lean into one, he'll walk, he'll do whatever.
He'll bunt with 2 strikes in a shift. Like he'll do whatever it takes to get on base. And I
mean, he was the only one having kind of pestering at bats to Dustin May that was trying to drive up the pitch count.
Exactly. And so that's what I like in a leadoff hitter. Now, will Corbin Carroll be the leadoff hitter, you know, in July? Probably. Yeah. But, you know, it's his first opening day. You're not going to throw him to the Wolves in a not a sold out. There are plenty of good seats available in Dodger Stadium these last 2 games.
Yeah, no kidding.
But you know, it's still a big place. Big spot. So you don't want to throw him into the fire, especially with a new contract, right?
Yeah.
And you know, knowing Torey the way we do, he's not going to put his players mentally in a place like that, right?
Yeah.
You're not going to have a Kyle Lewis situation where he's just so down mentally that he's not going to be the player that you know he can be, right? So early in the season, you play with lineups. See what works, see what doesn't. You have lineups in your head, and then you all of a sudden, oh shoot, it doesn't work. So you play with them, and so we'll get a more solidified lineup, I'm sure, going forward.
Will we though? I mean, it is Torey.
Probably not.
I don't mean to attack Torey, but Torey is not known for playing a consistent lineup. But
there's nothing wrong with that.
There isn't, because
as long as you're winning, maybe
he does have plenty of options now. So that's the one thing that's good here. But we are actually going to be joined by the one and only Thunderstick Jesse Friedman, my vice mayor. In case anything happens to me, he's the guy that takes over as mayor around this place. But right now he's coming to us from Los Angeles, and let's bring him in. Jesse Friedman, the giant Jesse. What's happening, buddy? Giant orange Jesse this time. A lot different.
Yeah, I am very orange, aren't I? I swear this room is actually, the lighting in here is not orange at all, but my computer camera is deciding to make me orange.
It's fine. It's a good look. You look very tan. It's an LA look.
But right.
We're very happy to see you, bud. How's the vibes there in the Diamondback clubhouse?
You know, of all the Diamondbacks games that I've covered, I'm not sure that I've ever been part of one where we had so many interviews to do after the game. Obviously, when you pull out a win, there's going to be a couple different guys who had a part in that win. But it felt like we were in the interview room forever, because it was like, oh, you got to talk to Kyle Nelson and Merrill Kelly and Drey Jameson and Andrew Chafin. We're bouncing all over the place talking to all these guys, because this was a really big team win for the Diamondbacks. Obviously, Kyle Lewis with the home run, that's the thing that's going to get all the attention. But I mean, Drey Jameson was absolutely outstanding out of the bullpen in this game. And honestly, Merrill Kelly did not have his best stuff at all in this game, but found a way to put up a 0 over 3 2/3 innings anyway. So all the way around, a really big win for this Diamondbacks team.
Everybody is very excited that you're here and unbruised, Jesse, because while we were waiting for you, Shane had ChatGPT write a breaking news article about Dodgers fans apparently beating you up. So and ChatGPT knew without him prompting it that you'd be wearing a Diamondbacks jersey. So it was pretty accurate and true to life. But what's going on there with Drey Jameson? Because obviously Drey was huge for the Diamondbacks tonight. He really saved this bullpen from having, probably what could have been a game that depleted them quite a bit going forward for this 4-game series, and then another 2 games with the Padres right after this.
Yeah, I mean, we talked with Drey about like, hey, this bullpen role, it's not too bad. Looks kind of good on you, right? And he was like, yeah, I guess so. He talked a little bit about his experience warming up in the bullpen and how odd that kind of was, and nervously just kind of waiting for his name to be called and whatnot, right? All of these things that go along with being a reliever that Drey Jameson is not at all familiar with. But yeah, I mean, you couldn't really have asked for anything more from Drey Jameson in this game. I know he's not going to be happy with the 3 walks and, the mistake pitch that he made to Mookie Betts, but to come into Dodger Stadium in a tight game and go, 4 innings. I mean, he wound up throwing more innings than Merrill Kelly did in this game when it was all said and done.
Yeah, that was wild.
It was incredible. And you figure he might have even had more left in the tank. I mean, Drey Jameson threw 66 pitches in this game. We've seen him throw more than that in spring training starts. So there was, maybe some question of if Drey Jameson should have finished off that 8th inning instead of bringing Scott McGough into that spot. But nonetheless, things certainly turned out well for the Arizona Diamondbacks.
I'm glad you brought up Scott McGough, because obviously things weren't great tonight with him. He only went a third of an inning and gave up 2 walks. Much like everything this weekend, Michael McDermott was here taking your place, telling me not to overreact to anything happening this weekend, which I think was sage advice. But any concerns there with Scott McGough and his outing tonight?
It was a big spot to bring in Scott McGough, right? I mean, the guy hasn't pitched in a major league game since, I want to say, 2015. He's had some success overseas in Japan, but the NPB is not the same thing as Major League Baseball. At one point in spring training, we talked with Torey about him possibly wanting to give Scott McGough a bit of a soft landing, bring him into a lower leverage situation to allow him to adapt to the big leagues a little bit and kind of get his feet under him a little bit at this level. And then, there you go. It's a 1-on, 2-out situation in the 8th inning in a 1-run game. And that's where Torey decided to put in Scott McGough, as well as facing Mookie Betts to start that 9th inning, which ultimately ended up in a walk. So yeah, too early to make any big judgments on McGough, but I think it was a lot to ask of him. And, fortunately, it didn't wind up costing the Diamondbacks the game, but maybe we see McGough in a lower leverage situation the next time out.
What were you most impressed by in this win? Kyle Lewis bouncing back and hitting a home run after having an 0-4 night where he almost got the golden sombrero. Torey's game management. Anything stick out to you as being the main key here?
For Torey, the player of the game is Drey Jameson. Torey said that we won this game because of Drey Jameson. He said that in his post-game presser, and I think that was absolutely the case. I mean, this Diamondbacks bullpen, we like to believe is better than what it was a year ago. But I mean, a year ago, if you got your starter knocked out in the 4th inning, piecing together your way from the 4th to the 9th in a game as tight as this one, it would have been almost impossible for the bullpen that the Diamondbacks had last year. At least it felt that way at times.
Well, especially
for Drey Jameson to come in and do that was incredible.
Sorry to cut you off, but especially for Drey to come in and kind of get Merrill Kelly out of that inning where he gave up, I think it was the 2 walks, I think it was, and Drey got him out of that. And I mean, that was huge right there, considering how close this game was. But also, we felt like confidence-wise, obviously the win does a lot, but things could have shifted really quickly here, and the fact that they were able to, keep this game so close, even after Drey gave up the home run to Mookie Betts, felt pretty key here. Like, we talked about the fact that Drey has been able to kind of bounce back from having a bad inning or giving up a big home run and kind of buckle down. But we also saw that a bit out of Andrew Chafin there in the 9th inning, who didn't give up a big hit, but he had a couple of bad pitches that he almost got really kind of mad at himself about. And then next thing you know, Chafin was dialed in there to close that game out.
Yeah, Chafin made some pretty funny comments in our post-game interviews just about how he can only focus when the lights are on and there's a lot of noise in the stadium. He said that the noise of the stands helps drown out the noise of what's up here, pointing at his head, like the voice in his own
Such
head.
an Andrew Chafin.
Oh my God. Is that how I can get back to sleep at 4 o'clock in the morning? Because things are loud up here at 4 o'clock in the morning, Jesse. Let me tell you.
Unfortunately, my phone malfunctioned, so we don't have good audio of that interview.
Oh man, that's too bad though. But that's a great story anyway.
He did say some pretty hilarious things. The other thing I want to talk about is just real quick is Torey Lovullo. I thought really managed a very good baseball game. We've talked a lot about some different situations late in games. Where maybe you'd make some different decisions than what Torey ultimately did, but he was 2 for 2 in challenges for one thing. I mean, I guess that's more the credit to the D-backs video guy than anything else. But
right?
Wound up, the first of those challenges wound up saving a run, which was ultimately the difference in this game. And then the way that he managed that 8th inning with Kyle Lewis coming up, the Diamondbacks pinch hit for 3 consecutive hitters late in this game in a very bizarre order too. Checking my scorecard, you had Nick Ahmed, the shortstop, coming in for the center fielder, Alec Thomas. You had Evan Longoria, your third baseman, coming in for Perdomo at shortstop. And then you had Kyle Lewis, who didn't even stay in this game. The Diamondbacks forewent the DH spot for the remainder of this game and had Lourdes Gurriel Jr. just play left field. He came in for Josh Rojas. So not something that I necessarily saw coming, but you can see Torey has some weapons at his disposal that he hasn't had in the past. There have been times especially last year, against lefties where the D-backs just didn't have an answer. They just didn't have enough quality right-handed hitters on this team. And in this game, in the 8th inning, you got a lefty on the mound, and Torey Lovullo had an answer for Dave Roberts.
I don't mean to interrupt you, but it's like, see, you and I spent a lot of time together. So even when we're not in the same room, we still just repeat each other and we say the same stuff because that's what would happen if we were here talking anyway. But yes, I was completely on board with that. And I brought that exact thing up just about like the depth of this team and how it's paying off. And again, trying not to overreact to a loss, trying not to overreact to a win, but Torey Lovullo being able to switch things up and go to those right-hand batters that he wouldn't have had available to him last year, at least not those guys with that experience, right? Ahmed, Longoria, and Kyle Lewis, there's a lot of experience there. Kyle Lewis obviously being the most talented of the guys, or at least the hottest bat, you could say right now, coming in off of spring training. But, I mean, those just he didn't have those options last year, right? So, again, sometimes it's not about a manager being bad as much as it's about the team not really giving him the pieces that he needs in order to be able to adapt in a game like this to a new pitcher coming up and capitalize on them bringing in a guy when Dustin May was fairly dominant, in this game. So, but I also think it's wonderful that you and I are on the same page without even discussing things because Jesse has been in the bowels of Dodger Stadium. And I'm very excited. I hope the vibes were immaculate in the clubhouse, and I hope you stay safe because after the Chat GPT thing, I'm very worried about you.
Yeah, I guess I better be watching my back on my way out.
I'm just saying, don't wear a Diamondbacks jersey the whole time you're there. That's all I ask of you. We looked ahead at the probables there a bit, and it's not super encouraging considering we have Mad Bum against Clayton Kershaw, and then I think we have Zach Davies against Noah Syndergaard. What are your thoughts on the final 2 games of this series?
I mean, Noah Syndergaard is not the guy that maybe you have in your head from a few years ago.
Sure.
I
tend to hold on to that, so you're right about that.
Yeah, I mean, we saw him pitch in some pretty big games, obviously last year with the Phillies, and he's still a good pitcher. But I wouldn't, look at that as an unwinnable game by any stretch of the imagination. I think Syndergaard is kind of a number 3, number 4 starter at this stage in his career. At least he was. You never know what happens when pitchers go over to the Dodgers. Suddenly it seems like they all throw 100 miles an hour and become an ace overnight. Yeah. I mean, I don't know what happened with Tyler Anderson last year, but it's certainly not out of the question that Noah Syndergaard could pull something similar off. But you don't probably feel so great about the Saturday game that we have coming tomorrow. Bumgarner against Clayton Kershaw, a matchup that, as we talked about the other day, has not happened since 2016. It's been a while since Mad Bum and Kershaw have faced off in a game. I think it's kind of a fun matchup. It's sort of iconic in some ways. You don't necessarily feel so confident about it if you're a Diamondbacks fan. One of those players has aged well, and the other one
we'll leave it up to you to decide which one that is.
Yeah. So, but I mean, I feel like this Diamondbacks offense is kind of due to break out a little bit. We haven't really seen outside of that Kyle Lewis home run, frankly. The Diamondbacks haven't done much of anything offensively since the second inning of that game yesterday. So,
I mean, Corbin Carroll's still out there trying to make things happen, Jesse. Corbin Carroll is still beating out what would normally be a ground out for most batters and making it into a single. But it can't just be him on his own this year. He's going to need some help. So hopefully we can see this.
I love how Corbin Carroll had 2 hits in this game, and both of them were like, I don't want to say accidental, but like both were like kind of odd, right?
Yeah, like odd, weird hits,
he had the double down the right field line that I'm pretty sure he didn't think was fair.
I don't think anybody in the stadium knew it was fair.
It was a little odd. So of course he winds up getting to second anyway. If he'd been sprinting the whole way, I wonder if he could have gotten to third. Mookie Betts kind of bobbled it a little bit in right field. And then of course you got that play up the first baseline, which I know the guy covering the base, I can't remember who was on the mound, but whoever that was stopped short of the bag and wasn't actually on the base. But at the end of the day, that's all Corbin Carroll's speed, turning what would have been a ground out for 99% of baseball players into a single.
Well, and the thing is for like a game this close, right? The decisions Torey made were the difference maker. And even in cases like that, even if they didn't end up resulting in him scoring or anything happening, it feels like that kind of stuff, those inches, right? The win the inches. Torey talks about all the time, but like that really could be a difference maker for this team. They're not going to have the star power that some of these other teams have, but if they can turn plays that would normally be an out for most teams into a single and capitalize on that, this team very well could be as exciting as we were hoping that they would be.
And you do that once, and hey, guess what? It's on Scouting Report now. So now other teams have to prep for that defensive shifts, defensive like positioning is going to change now, and you have to plan for that now.
You have to respect Corbin Carroll for sure.
So and who knows what that's going to open up.
Yeah, it's going to be great. But
the other thing I want to say real quick about Corbin Carroll is, of course, everyone wants to know how long until Corbin Carroll becomes the Diamondbacks leadoff hitter, right? That's the only thing anyone wants to know. It feels like.
All we want.
And it's kind of hilarious because Torey is very much anticipating that question. Like he kind of knows it's on all the reporters' minds. So today I asked Torey in pregame about just kind of what he looks for in a leadoff hitter, what guys he kind of has in that mix. And in no way was I necessarily hinting at Corbin Carroll directly. We saw Kyle Lewis yesterday, Josh Rojas today. Torey's used Ketel Marte in that role in the past. But yeah, Torey just instantly was like, I know what you're getting at. Even though I really wasn't necessarily talking about Corbin
I wasn't
Carroll,
getting at anything, Torey. Jesus.
But he did, and we talked about some things related to this as well yesterday about Carroll being moved up in the lineup at some point and how long it might take for those things to happen. And Torey basically said something around maybe 60 plate appearances, I want to say is the number that he put on it, where he might reconsider where guys are in the lineup. So for people wondering, why is Carroll batting, 7th against lefties and 5th against righties? Why is Gabi Moreno so low in the lineup? Those kinds of things. I think those things might change soon once those guys get a little bit more experience.
So let me ask you this: Does that mean you think we will see Kyle Lewis bat leadoff again here soon?
I mean, it's interesting. I think it's funny that after yesterday, his pinch hit home run technically did come in the leadoff spot after the uproar that happened yesterday, right? It's kind of funny how that worked out. I would think so. I mean, I was looking today at leadoff hitters that Torey has used since he took over as manager in 2017. There's a lot of right-handed hitters in there who weren't necessarily your prototypical leadoff types, right? We've talked about Nick Ahmed being in that role, Carson Kelly being in that role. Jordan Luplow led off some games last year. I think Torey's just looking for, when there's a lefty on the mound, he's just looking for a right-handed hitter who will give him a good at-bat. And today he talked about how, speed at the top of the lineup is kind of a 1985 mindset is the way that he put it, where it's just like, that's not how we manage this game anymore. If you're looking for speed exclusively at the top of the lineup, that's just not the way that baseball works at this point. And Kyle Lewis, there was a time when he was fast. I think those days are maybe behind him at this point, but I wouldn't be surprised if you see Lewis back in that leadoff spot at some point soon.
Danielle also said that about the leadoff spot. They agree apparently when it comes to that idea, but Jesse, we're going to let you get out of here because, again, everybody's very worried about you. Don't forget to send me more pictures of any tacos that you eat while you're in LA. And please drink some water. I'm concerned about you at all times. Okay? Get some sleep.
Yeah. Well, I guess I better watch my back on my way out of here. And I'm kind of disappointed that you guys didn't send like a bodyguard or something. Like you're going to break this.
We don't have that,
not Jesse. Any kind of protection. So,
Jesse, I made you drive yourself there, and I made you stay with a friend of yours. You know we don't have that kind of budget, but I will pray for your safety.
I'll see if Steve Gilbert is available to.
Please, Steve. I bet Steve's been in a fight or two at Dodger Stadium, so I think he'll have some information for you on how to get through that. But all right, buddy, we'll talk to you on Sunday after Sunday's game.
All right, sounds good. See you guys.
All right, see ya. Oh, he's great. And again, I'm going to worry all night. I absolutely are. But I'm going to stop by our Circle K right across the street here to get myself some water and probably some iced coffee for just $1.89. That way that I'm fueled up for the night so that I can have plenty of caffeine in my system so I can worry about Jesse until the morning. They also have Red Bulls 2 for $5.75 or 3 for $8, and Monsters 3 for $4.50 and 3 for $6. So make sure to stop out and make sure you're not missing out on all this great stuff. Be stocked up all March Madness long over at Circle K. Head to circlek.com/store locator. That's circlek.com/store-locator to find Circle K's near you. They're all over the place. You know where Circle K's are. Stop by. Make sure you fuel up your car and fuel yourself up. Also, while you're there, grab some Four Peaks beer. Four Peaks is our local brewery, and they are all about a wide variety of beers for you to drink. And of course, they also have their 8th Street pub, which we're at quite often, and you can go out to as well. Check out their spring training tours all throughout the month of March, which is almost over, but I bet they might still take you on a tour in the month of April. I'm not sure. These do say March, so don't hold me to that. But there are ghosts apparently that make the beer. We still don't know what the ghost's role is in making the beer, but they will tell you on the tour if you go out there and check it out. Also, check out their calendar at fourpeaks.com/events for all your beer week entertainment. And more importantly, join us on April 27th for the NFL draft because the Arizona Cardinals wow. That did not come out of me, but that may be a fact. I don't know.
I mean,
one win in 18 months, and then
it's
not. Guess what? They're not getting a win in 19 months or 20 months because there's no fucking football until August. But
as someone who is on the field for pretty much every home game this year, I can confirm.
All right, I'm not going to stand for this blasphemy because now they have a new coach, new GM. It's a completely new team. They also have the 3rd pick in the draft, so it's a big opportunity for the Cardinals, and the best place to take in this pivotal moment is with us and the rest of the NFL draft on April 27th at Four Peaks 8th Street Pub. That sounded weird. The rest of the NFL draft isn't going to be happening at the Four Peaks Pub. We're just going to be watching it there, but you can join us there. Must be 21 years or older to enjoy, and enjoy responsibly. Also, we had some fun today with our friends out at the Savannah Bananas. If you are not familiar with the Savannah Bananas, I don't know how you're not. My 11-year-old daughter is, and she doesn't know most Major League Baseball teams, but she knows who the Savannah Bananas are, and she knows that they have a pitcher on stilts. And we have a very, very entertaining video that we are going to put together for you guys. Shane and I had a lot of fun out there. Shane did some tremendous work on this, but here's a little preview of what you're going to get from us with our friends at the Savannah Bananas. It's Derek Monty, occasionally known as your mayor of PHNX, out here at Scottsdale Stadium, hanging out with the Savannah Bananas on their World Banana Ball Tour. And we have some questions for these guys, including maybe how I can unlock my potential and join the squad. Oh, that's just a taste. That's just a taste of what we got. Oh, man, it was fun. But, I mean, you know, the one thing I want to say about the Savannah Bananas is, like, there is electric vibe around that team. And, I mean, the way that the line was down the street and around the corner at Scottsdale Stadium for people to get in, the way people were decked out in their merch, it was wild. You would have thought this was a home game in Savannah, Georgia or something with the way that they got the support. It was crazy.
Yeah, man, they're fun.
They just are, right?
Popping up on TikTok all the time.
Yeah.
Like, oh, man.
That's why my 11-year-old daughter knows them. Like, she literally knows who the Bananas are. It's wild to me. But there's one more chance to check them out. Make sure if you get a chance to check them out, they'll be in Peoria on Saturday. So if you can get tickets or find your way over there, one thing they do is they just let everybody run in at general admission, and it's like a running of the bulls. It's like a stampede of people. I've never seen anything like it, and it's amazing. So, but everything about the Savannah Bananas is incredible. And again, as somebody that loves baseball, it's kind of like what I was saying about how MLB The Show 2023 and the storyline modes with like the Negro Leagues fills my soul up. Like just being out there and having baseball be as silly fun as it is at a Savannah Bananas versus a Party Animals game. I mean, it shouldn't be missed. So make sure to check them out and keep an eye out for that video. We'll be dropping that tomorrow, and we will have lots of fun questions with the Savannah Bananas as well as some of those Party Animals guys as well. So, but yeah, a lot of fun out there at Scottsdale Stadium, and man, people were amped for it. But speaking of fun, make sure to make your way over to Octane Raceway and Mavericks. They have all sorts of specials. They have all sorts of fun to be had. You can race cars, you can bowl, you can play video games, you can have a blast. They have daily specials. Every Friday, you have trivia night and rotating drink specials from 8 to 10. Saturday through Sunday, 50% off signature bowling before noon. Book some fun this spring at Octane Raceway and Mavericks. Kart racing, virtual reality, laser tag, axe throwing. Maybe you'll go axe throwing with me because Jesse absolutely will not. Bowling, arcade, great foods and drinks, so much more. Watch all the NCAA games at Mavericks in the Trophy Room Grill and Patio. Get a free $10 game card when you purchase an entree in the Trophy Room. Check out octaneraceway.com and mavericks.com to learn more. And again, fantasy baseball season is here, so you guys got to get all of your fantasy needs over at RotoWire. Check out everything that they have from cheat sheets, player rankings, everything to fit your specific leagues. Let their experts analyze all the wild baseball stats for you so that they can get you the big win in your fantasy league. I am not the person to ask. I'll tell you that right now, but you can ask their experts with the Ask the Expert function, premium fantasy draft kits, custom start and sit options, all sorts of stuff. So, and it's not just baseball. They have fantasy advice on everything from golf, soccer, NASCAR, everything you need. XFL, fantasy XFL. You might want to sign. I might sign up for that. But for a limited time right now, RotoWire is offering a free 2-day trial to our listeners. Just go to rotowire.com/PHNX to register. No commitments at all. So they're so confident that you'll like their product and want to invest in a subscription plan that they don't even ask you for a credit card up front. No, nothing at all. All you need to do is take a sneak beyond the paywall and decide if a RotoWire package is right for you. Danielle, thank you so much for joining me. We watched baseball together. We screamed. We laughed. We had a great time.
Also, we didn't talk about who called the Kyle Lewis home run.
This lady did.
Yep.
Yeah, so she
very first
did.
pitch of the at bat. I'm like, Derek, he's going yard right here.
Yeah, I mean,
and it happened, baby.
Now, to be fair, we say that a lot about a lot of things that we don't ever bring up. But when we're right, we brag about them, and that's absolutely the right thing to do. So thank you for following us. You can follow us on Twitter. I'm at @cap_caveman with a K. Jesse is at Jesse and Friedman. Please tweet him and make sure he's okay. Danielle's at Abracadanielle.
Yup.
That's right. I got that one right. Of course, our show is at PHNX_DBacks, and all roads lead to at PHNX_sports on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. We thank you guys so much for being here. We love you. We appreciate your time on behalf of everybody here. Damon, We got Shane, we got Jesse in LA, we got Danielle, we got myself. We thank you guys so much for your time. And remember, kids, baseball is fun, but it's so much more fun when Kyle Lewis hits dingers.
Let's go.